Well, good afternoon, everyone, and good morning to our friends in Asia. We're delighted that you can join us for this fourth session in our session of weekly seminars about mobility, Asia moving forward in the fourth industrial revolution. And today, I'm very happy that we have a speaker from Hong Kong to talk about a new area that we haven't seen in our series so far. We've looked at how you move people and things around. We've also looked at things that people are doing with smart mobile devices. This one kind of integrates the two into allowing a new group of people to move around in ways that has been very difficult for them before. So today we have Dr. John Chunyu Chan, who is the co-founder and CEO of Mapxus. Am I pronouncing that right, John? Mapxus? How do you
Wow.
say it?
I'm not a native English speaker, so I totally follow you. But we usually say Mapxus. Okay.
Mapxus.
Yeah, Mapxus. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So John was actually a distinguished professor and senior member of Sun Yat-sen University before founding Mapxus. He also had joined the University of Nottingham's branch campus in Ningbo, China, and had become its associate dean before founding Mapxus. He's an expert in environment engineering and did postdoc work at University of California, Irvine, where he was involved with a project for NASA on transport and chemical evolution over the Pacific. He's also been nominated for the E&I Award for protection of the environment in 2011. And John is going to talk to us about Mapxus now. Before I turn over the microphone to him, a couple of points. First of all, I want to say a special thank you to the Hong Kong Economy and Trade Office in San Francisco, HKETO, who introduced us to John and who's been very helpful with us in coordinating and our information, getting information about opportunities in Hong Kong, as well as what's going on there for our community. And I want to say thanks to all of our member companies in our industry affiliates program, because it's their funding that allows us to do these programs. Today, if you have questions, please put them into chat, and I will kind of read the questions and organize them, and I will ask them during the formal session of the program. At the end of the day, at the end of the formal program, we'll stop the recording and we may have a more informal, direct, anybody can speak off the record session for a few more minutes. But I want to say thanks very much for coming in. It's early in the morning in Hong Kong, and I really appreciate you getting up for us. John, the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you very much for the invitation, and I would be very glad to share with you these several years our team has been doing. Okay, I'm short. Briefly, history of my team is actually I start the startup something like in 2015 with my 7 students from the Sun Yat-sen University in Guangzhou. So they are still in my team. Okay, so I think it's quite typical kind of a startup that we start from teacher and some of the students. Okay, so we are global indoor map SaaS platform. So our slogan is to try to make mapping smart and simple. A little bit story is actually when I was very young as an engineer trainee in the MTRC, okay, Mass Transport Railway Corporation in Hong Kong. Actually, I was asked by my boss to do some kind of record of some potential leakage point along the the railway lines, okay, so that you may probably have some kind of flooding accident during the heavy rain, okay. So what I first need to do is actually to go to the library and look at the microfiche, and you can have the blueprint, okay, in that small size, and then you need to print it out, and you need to do the recording all over there so that you can make it as a logbook, okay. I was still in the undergraduate study, but after something like more than 20 years, okay, one of my secondary school colleague, okay, classmate, and he told me, okay, I found your photo in our logbook, okay. Then I say, what is it? Oh, then I all of a sudden realized probably at that period of time, I did something for the MTR, and then they are still using that kind of a paperwork, kind of a logbook for sharing of all the information among the corporation, okay? So I have a hard time to believe that. And actually, I have a very hard time to finish the task, okay? Because I simply don't have any update, that kind of a map, okay? Especially for the indoor one, okay? Because at back to back that period of time, you only have that kind of engineering drawing for that kind of indoor environment, okay? So it's very difficult to digitize the things, you know, with the paperwork, okay? And doing actually the safety walk, okay? When I was working in the MTR at night, actually I found that the visibility inside the stations are very poor, okay? Because they save some energy, so they switch all some lights, and then some engineering works over there, so that you can have you have a particularly in the air, so the visibility is so poor. Then I raised my hand and I asked the boss, okay, what will happen if all of a sudden you get the lights off, okay, and how we can get off the scene, okay? And I was told that, okay, there's one box, okay, that they would have independent electricity. They would be still on, so that you can follow the site, and then you can escape from the scene. Then I at that time I wonder why you have a very good signal in the MTR station, right? Okay. So I think there may be some kind of a different way to have a more sophisticated or much easier way to get out of the station, okay? So I mean, this is the idea why I all of a sudden changed from environmental engineer or a professor to this kind of a mapping industry, okay? Because I realized that, okay, because of my wife and my classmates, they are all engineers, okay, they all work in the civil engineer discipline. So I learned from them is actually there's always a problem. You got the updated and digitize that kind of a map information, especially for the buildings. So I remember one time there was a very big fire accident in Hong Kong that killed something like more than 10 people, and including 1 or 2 firemen. Okay, so I remember that that is a kind of shock to me. That was a kind of shock to me because the scene is very close to the campus where I study and I work. Okay, so I start to think with my student, okay, and how to solve this kind of problem, okay. So we start to looking for the indoor positioning system, okay, and then some kind of smart device that we can find in the States, okay, in the United States, okay. But it turns out those are very expensive, and then they are usually for the military usage, okay, so that you cannot have that in Hong Kong or in Asia. So we start with this kind of an idea and then try to do the indoor positioning system when the iBeacon get available, okay, for the iPhone for the cell phone to use, okay. We start our trial for that kind of indoor positioning, okay, and then we get it successful for our air growth, okay, and it performs well in industrial campuses, okay. But it turns out that you don't have maps, you don't have digital maps, okay. To map, just like you have GPS signal for the outdoor, okay, but you also need a map, a good map, okay, to synchronize all the information to present to the people, okay, so that you can read it well, okay. So, and then we start to rethink all the solution again. We have the positioning algo, okay, based on whatever kind of a technology, okay, but you still need that kind of map system, okay. But you look at the industry, okay, you have a art info, that kind of a professional, that kind of GIS system, okay. Even as an engineer, you need to be well trained, okay. You need to train again to be a GIS expert in order to use it. How can a field worker to handle that kind of work? It's nonsense, right? So we think of what a solution that we want to use, okay, the cell phone, okay, to be the data acquisition system, and also the presentation device to allow everyone, especially the general public, okay, or the field workers, to be able to read the map and then have the positioning system, so that you can have a more generic use of the platform, okay. So that's why we make our slogan as make mapping smart and simple, so everyone can create a map and the positioning system for their use, okay. For example, maybe a child, he wants to create a Pokemon Go for the indoor, okay, so that they can play with it, okay. So they're using iPhone. So that's our dream, okay. So we start to build this kind of a indoor map platform. It's a global one, okay, not only for a building, but for the whole city base, okay. So we call Mapxus as a digital infrastructure for the smart city study, okay. That's the background and the development history that we come to the platform now, okay. So for the pain points, okay, of this kind of an industry, okay, as we mentioned it earlier, okay, for the outdoor map, you can have a very good map, Google Map, A Maps, okay, Baidu, okay, or even the Apple Map. Very good presentation. You can use it in an iPhone or in a website, and it's very nice, okay. You can do the searching just like a yellow book type of application, okay. And then you also have a very cheap or free to use GPS system, okay, for your driving, something like that, okay. But actually, for the indoor space, okay, most of the indoor buildings, they are not properly digitized, okay. Or if they have digitized, okay, they don't have a good updating, okay. For example, like in a shopping mall, that actually Google Map, they don't have a guarantee to update the map for the shopping mall they do have, okay. So maybe 9 months time, they have an update, okay. But for 9 months, a lot of shops have been changed, okay. A lot of POIs have been changed, okay. So most of the indoor space are not properly digitized, and also the paper-based floor plan are usually outdated, okay. For example, like like the blueprint of the MTR. Okay, probably you will have 60% of the POI, point of interest information are outdated. Okay, so heavily manpower, okay, heavy manpower will be involved. Okay, in traditional digitization of this kind of information. Okay, in whatever the system. Okay. So these are the major pain point for the digitization, right? And if you want to put the map or positioning, that kind of, or navigation, that kind of services for everyone, there are one major problem over here is actually because you have an Android system, you have an iOS system, okay? They both are not, communicating well, okay? That means they are not compatible, okay? For some of the application, okay? Indoor positioning is one example, okay? For example, like the iOS system, their Wi-Fi signal, they are not open to everyone, not open to the developer, okay? So that means if you just like our company, we are good to have a positioning algorithm. We can develop the system, okay, for the Android system, but okay, you cannot get access to the iOS system. Okay, so that means you can serve probably only like half, okay, 50% of the end user to be able to use the system. That means you cannot get the customer because the final the shopping mall or the government will not use your system because you cannot get access to the iOS. Okay, right? So this is a kind of ecosystem, that kind of barrier. Okay, so whenever you want to have this kind of a city-based or services for the map and then for the positioning system, okay, then you need to have this kind of tool system open to you. Okay, so that's another big major ecosystem pain point. Okay, so Mapxus tried to develop the indoor space model. I mean the digitization model. Okay, for digitize the physical space. Okay, believe it or not. Okay, actually before 2020. Okay, there's no very good industrial standard. Okay, to define the indoor space. Okay, and actually Apple tried to define the industrial standard for the indoor map. Okay, so they have a kind of program called the IMDF. Okay, that kind of standard indoor mapping data format. Okay, that has been become the industrial standard for the OGC. That means the Open Geo Information Consortium. Okay, so that to make it as a standard for the global user to use the format. Okay, to create a map. Okay, make it as a good standard. Okay, so that you can put a map in the Apple Maps. Okay, so that the Apple would allow you to use their indoor positioning system in the iPhone. So that means they want to have two very good system synchronized in the iPhone. Okay, so this is the first step to do it. Okay, of course Mapxus we develop our own model to digitize the indoor space. This is the first step that we try to do. Okay, but in other applications, just like the government, okay, they have their own gender, okay, because they probably will have some kind of a space that is not interest to Apple or Google or the Baidu, okay, because these providers are only focused on the commercial area, just like the airport or shopping mall, okay. But for the hospital, the government is very concerned about that, okay. For some kind of a museum or that kind of school campuses, okay, that may not be interested by the commercial interest, okay, but the government, they still want to digitize it, okay, as a part of a smart city application. So For this kind of indoor map standard, it need to be connect to different kind of standards. Okay, so Mapxus, we try to develop the map system to be able to connect to the IMDF, to be able to connect the Google standard, and also for the China standard. Okay, because the China, they do have a very special GIS system. Okay, that is not very easily be transferred into the Google or Apple standard. Okay, so we try to develop this kind of a mapping model. Okay, to be able to connect with various system. Okay, and luckily, like 2 years ago, we got one customer. That's the Hong Kong by Union. Okay, they approach us. Okay, they want to have this kind of a city-based map system and then the navigation system for their members. Okay, believe it or not, okay, their chairman told me that, okay, one of their members, okay, spent something like 6 hours to locate one minibus stop, okay, in the semi-enclosed area under the shopping mall. Okay, 6 hours in Hong Kong. I mean, that is ridiculous. Okay, what I heard from other people, other blind people, visually impaired, from one visually impaired person is actually a very young, talented IT person. Okay, he spent like 2 hours to locate one spot. I mean, this kind of a pain point. Okay, they want to have this kind of system. Okay. But the tricky point is actually, even for initially, even for our staff, we are very scared for this kind of project. Okay, because you need to have a very high quality map. You need to digitize everything, just like the two-step. Okay, 2 steps. Okay, between the indoor and outdoor environment. How can you digitize it, and then to be able to use the voice message to tell the end user. Okay, so that means we need to go into the very detailed the definition of the indoor and outdoor space, the connectivity over there. Okay, so this is the map accuracy and precision, and also you need to have a very good positioning and navigation system. Okay, to be able to guide them. Okay, but okay, believe it or not, the major pain point from their members, actually, they just need to have a good system to search, around. Just imagine when you close your eyes, okay, you don't have any information about in the 2 o'clock direction, 50 meters away, okay, what the shop is it? They don't have this kind of information. So the map system, the point of interest, that kind of information becomes crucial. Okay, so that's why we work with Apple, we work with the government, okay, to create a kind of map and navigation system for the visually impaired people, or we call it a barrier-free the kind of a map and navigation system. Okay, later I will show you one link that you can download the app in Hong Kong. Now the kind of application has covered more than 100 venues. Okay, they even show the availability of the toilet. Okay, in the app. Okay, so that you can have a better choice in the shopping mall. Okay, that's interesting, that kind of application. Okay, this is a kind of on your left, you can see. Okay, this is a kind of zoom in and zoom out of the map system. Okay, that we produce. Okay, so those gray areas, the building gray in color, those have been digitized in the Tsim Sha Tsui region. Okay, that means the central part of Kowloon Peninsula of Hong Kong. You can see that. Okay, when we click in, okay, then we can show the map layout, and when you zoom in, you can find a lot of information over there. Okay. This is that kind of application that we call ourselves a global and city-based kind of application. Okay, so we provide a kind of services that digitize and visualize the map. Okay, this is a digital map, and of course, when we try to digitize, we also have the Google Street View. Okay, for the indoor environment. Okay. So for this kind of application, indoor, outdoor connectivity and building to building, that kind of connectivity is very important, okay?
So John, if you just keep zooming in on the map, how close in can you fully zoom?
Okay, it can zoom into the shop level or zoom into the elevator, that kind of to show that kind of information. Okay.
Yeah.
So later I will show you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So
sorry for interrupting. Please go ahead.
So actually, we can go into the item level. Okay. Now we do have some kind of application that can really show the IoT, Internet of Things, that kind of device, okay? Because everything is labeled with or annotated in a GIS system, okay? So that means when you try to visualize the fire extinguisher in one room, okay? That fire extinguisher will have that kind of a GIS, longitude, latitude, and fall information over there. So this kind of system go into the very detailed level, okay? So we call the city, country, city, district, and go to the street level, and then go to the building level, and then go to the room level, and then go to the floor level, and then go to the item level. So it's a very detailed, that kind of information, okay? Can I answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah. So we develop our professional services. Okay. So this is a kind of showing that kind of a project for the Lands Department of Hong Kong. Okay. We try to digitize all the floor plan. Okay. Based on some kind of very easy to use a kind of engine, okay, so that people can very easily to digitize the floor, okay, the pathways, okay, and then the POI informations, okay. Then we also have the online editor, map editor, so we can allow our partners or our clients or our customers to edit their information. Okay, for example, the change of the rooms. Okay, to the renovation works. Okay, so that you can have a pathway change or something like that. Okay. So it would be all done in a cloud basis, okay, online, okay. So and then we also have the Google Street View, okay, that kind of a visualization tool, okay. Not only show the digital map, but we can also show like this is a kind so-called visual map, okay. Maybe I show that again, okay. So we have a camera. Oh, this is my son. Okay, he was something like 8 years old, and then he tried to do the visual map for us. Okay, upper level is a video, down, the bottom panel is actually the visual map that we produce. Okay, and this one is now the screen that you show is actually one shopping mall. Okay, so in every the right stock, okay, right here, okay, is a kind of a 360-degree photo that can show all the information. Okay, this kind of visual map becomes a very important because it can help us to update all the information. Okay, POI's information that that we can use the AI or deep learning to update all the informations, so that it would allow a very cost effective that kind of production of the maps. Okay, this is very important because the information keep on changing. Okay, every day or every week. Okay, so this kind of GIS system or the visual map annotate system, okay, can help you to produce the map information in a very efficient way. Okay, so let me show you another video. Okay, this is the actual application. Okay, and then to capture the point of interest online. Okay, in the app that we develop. Okay, so that our field worker can capture the visual information, and then when you go back to the office, okay, the AI or the worker can update all the informations. Okay, so this kind of system can help you digitize or visualize all the physical information indoor. Of course, we can do that for the outdoor, but our company mainly focus on the indoor. Okay. So this is a kind of very interesting map. Okay, I can't remember whether this is a Tokyo station or the Osaka station in Japan. Okay. We try to digitize all the indoor environment, okay, and then you can, when you look at the map, okay, and actually the underground shopping mall covers something like 20 blocks, okay. That means almost like the area of Kowloon Peninsula, okay. So I surely believe this is one of the biggest underground map in the world. Okay, because in Japan it's so complicated, even the local people cannot find their ways. Okay, for the tourists, it's almost like a mess. Okay, so and then we also customize all the map. Okay, allow the user to customize their map, their map. For example, during the Christmas Eve, okay, you can put a different color for your shopping mall or for your own campuses, okay, or the building, so to make it more attractive or to make it more interesting or fun to play with, okay. And of course, after this kind of if you use our system or the Apple's IMDF scheme to produce the map, high quality enough, then we can use through the Apple Indoor Map program to put the map in the Apple Maps, okay, so that the iPhone can allow you to use the map as a base map, okay, to synchronize with the positioning system, so that you can have a navigation, okay, and then positioning services in this kind of premises, okay. This is the program that we are now working with the Kawasaki Heavy Industry in Japan, okay, to put it as a positioning map and positioning services for Japan, okay. And of course, we need to use the Android system and then also the iOS to be able to create this kind of big scale application, okay. So a little bit summary about the advantages of this kind of a technology is actually we produce unique digital visual maps and with navigation and positioning system, okay, for the indoors. If I'm not wrong, we are the only company that we combine these three services into one, okay, for the indoor space, okay. So very importantly, okay, as I mentioned, okay, you don't have a digitalization for the indoor environment. I mean, almost like everywhere in the world, if I'm not wrong, okay, the indoor coverage is almost like less than 1% probably globally, okay, if I'm not wrong, okay. I mean, not only talking about the airport or the shopping mall, okay. It's very difficult to provide high quality maps, okay, and navigation and professional map services, okay. That kind of system that allow you to move from the last century technology to a new technology using the cell phone or very easily to use a camera that is very economical to use it in order to produce the same or even the higher quality map than the traditional method. That is very important. That saves you a lot of the cost and time of production and then implementation. Let me give you one example. In the Hong Kong airport, okay, one project like 4 years ago, they used the iBeacon to produce the indoor positioning system, and they draw their own map, okay, their own like floor plan, that kind of map. That costs something like 20 million Hong Kong dollars. Okay, just for one airport. Okay, not the second phase, only the third phase of the airport. Also, for the Taipei station is so huge, am I? Probably some of the colleagues have been to the Taipei train station. They also spend similar amount of money to produce that kind of system. How can you make that kind of costly project over the world or for the whole city? That's impossible, too costly, okay? For our system, uses similar technology, we only spend, we ask the 2 undergraduate students to go to the Hong Kong airport, and then they spend 1 week time, working time. Then they can produce the similar map and high quality enough to support the positioning and navigation services. I mean, that kind of cost cut is not 90%, much more, okay? The savage of the time of implementation and also the cost. With that kind of efficiency, okay, then you can produce the map and the navigation services for the whole city, okay? So it's a kind of commercial secret, okay, but we win the tender, okay, for the Lands Department of Hong Kong. They try to digitize 150 buildings, okay? It just costs something like 1 million Hong Kong dollar. We are talking about 150, buildings, okay, a lot of floors, okay, but we can produce it in that kind of a cost, okay. So I mean, I'm not trying to say we are the best, okay, but is I mean, what I'm trying to say, we are trying to use commercially available device, okay, very efficient AI or deep learning, that kind of technology, and also the very low cost cloud architect, okay, to do this kind of a traditional GIS professional services, but we still can produce same or even higher quality services. Okay, so what I'm trying
John,
to say.
can I interrupt
Yeah.
Again?
Yeah.
Because I think there's a real important distinction that I don't want people to miss, and that is the distinction between mapping and positioning.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking just a couple of technical follow-up questions.
Yeah.
So you go through and make a detailed digital map. that has the location of different features indoors.
Yeah.
And those locations are essentially like a GPS position down to like 20 places or something, right?
Yeah.
Then when someone goes into the building with a cell phone or whatever, the cell phone has its own GPS. Is there something where it's finding a signal or finding some sort of a beacon, or how does it know where to start in the map for the positioning?
I apologize. I skipped that part. Okay, for the positioning. Okay, indoor positioning. Okay, I mean for outdoor you can have a GPS. Okay,
Yeah.
even for indoor, if you have the close to the window, okay, you can still receive the GPS signal. Okay, but the GPS signal, the accuracy or the precision of the GPS signal in the city, just like in Hong Kong, is very poor. Okay,
Yeah.
especially in the congested place. Okay, I mean
Yeah.
with other buildings. Okay, and for the indoor, okay, the major technology we can use is we call the iBeacon. Okay. The small device. Okay, you need to, if you want to have a navigation or positioning services for the airport, then what they try to do, okay, they install the beacon 3 meters or 4 meters high, okay, in the interval around 3 meters. Okay, so in every 3 meters you need to install one iBeacon. Okay.
Yeah.
Or you need to install a lot of Cisco, that kind of Wi-Fi, okay, homogeneous system, okay, in order to allow the iPhone to receive the signals, okay. Then you need to build the so-called the signal map, okay. I mean, whatever the signal that the electromagnetic wave, okay, in terms of Wi-Fi, or in terms of beacon, or in terms of other signals, UWB.
So it's kind of comparing signal between 3 or 4 beacons, or what? How's it doing that?
Okay. I mean, I try to say, okay, there are beacon, there are Wi-Fi triangulations, okay.
Yeah.
Because if you know the location or the free access point, that kind of position, then you can use the triangulation to recalculate your positioning. Okay. Actually, the beacon, okay, they for the beacon or the Wi-Fi fingerprints, okay. What do means Wi-Fi fingerprints or the beacon fingerprints? Okay, that means imagine that you cut the space into a lot of homogeneous space, small grids. Okay, in each grid you will receive a lot of Wi-Fi strength. Okay, if you have a lot of Wi-Fi access point. Okay, for one small grid, okay, you probably receive for instance like the IFC shopping mall in Hong Kong, you probably receive more than 1,000 that kind of Wi-Fi strength. Okay, so that because the distance of the access point are different. Okay, so that the string will be different, so that you can create the fingerprints in each location of the Wi-Fi string. Okay, or the beacon string. Okay, so then you can based on the comparison of the library that you establish for the venue, and then together with the signal that you receive from the iPhone or the smartphone, so that you can estimate where you are if your algo is good enough. Okay.
Okay. So if you're visually impaired and you enter a room, with this working with the app working on your cell phone, basically it immediately starts to compare the signal strength of different Wi-Fi generation points, maybe also the beacon location, and that's the position for the person, the initial position.
Yes.
Okay.
So at the first beginning, that's why we do have a layer so-called the signal map. Okay, that means you build a library of all the Wi-Fi, beacon, or the electromagnetic wave, or UWB, that kind of signals, okay? They are all electromagnetic signals, okay? The library, and then you can compare with the end user, that kind of a signal that you receive. Then you can estimate where is your positioning, your positioning. And also inside the cell phone, you do have a lot of sensor, like the complex, okay? Step counter or gyroscope or step counter, something like that, or the pressure sensor, so that you fusion with the signal from the Wi-Fi or the beacon or whatever, okay? With the signal from the smartphone, then you can have a very detailed algorithm, okay? Then you can have a pathfinding or navigation, that kind of services for you, okay? Just like GPS, but the signal are different, okay? The infrastructure are different, okay? The major differences for the iBeacon and the Wi-Fi would be the Wi-Fi access point are already there.
Yeah.
You don't need to install extra that kind of infrastructure, okay?
So your system will work if there's no iBeacon. It will work just from the Wi-Fi signal strength.
Yeah. So actually, just like in Hong Kong or in the North America, okay, the human resources are so expensive. Okay, if we want to install the iBeacon, am I right?
Yep.
Okay, but for the Wi-Fi access point, they're already there. So we try. The whole idea is actually we try to use what they are already there. iPhone are already there. Okay, the Wi-Fi access point are already there. The camera that we use to capture the images are already there. They cost 2,000 Hong Kong dollars. Okay, so you don't need to use professional, that kind of a survey type of LiDAR kind of or that kind of technology. Okay, it's just like the Tesla, and then compare with other full self-driving, that kind of a technology. Okay, one uses semantic content, the other use a lot of LiDAR, a lot of other information. Okay, analogy to that kind of thinking. Okay,
so I don't know. I don't mean to interrupt too much, but this must be a huge amount of data to do a complete digital map of 150 buildings or something. That's kind of astounding. Ability to store that data and have it accessed quickly is kind of that sounds like it would be a problem.
Well, I mean, I used to be a modeler, okay, global climate, okay, that kind of modeler.
Oh, I see, modeling the climate. All right.
But you are right, okay. The data size that now we have are huge, okay. They can only be handled by that kind of cloud computing and also the edge computing. Okay, in the cell phone. Okay, the data are really huge. Okay.
So I kind of have to ask the question, in these places where you've already done the mapping, here in Silicon Valley, you see the Waymo cars still driving around because they have to continually update the basic maps. Are you all finding that you have to send people around mapping the interior pretty frequently?
This is a very good question. Okay. The whole idea that my team and I is actually, we need to use the idle resources. Okay, just say the cleaner or the security guard in the shopping mall or in your venue, or the student, okay, doing their summertime.
A little bit of work after school. Great.
But you cannot offer them one laser scanner for them to use, because that would be a lot. That would be expensive. They are easy to break it. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you give them the iPhone or the $2,000 camera or the video, that kind of a machine, then it's very easy for them to update. Okay. And of course, it's easier for the indoor environment because the changing is over there, but it's not as rapid as you drive your car. Am I right?
Yeah, right.
So that's the luck. Okay. But other luck is actually you can use the shopping mall or the facility management, their idle resources. Okay. So that would allow the management or the venue or the building, okay, or their owner, they can do the updating for themselves. But
Okay.
of course, your algo will be, you need to be very good. For example, like if you in a shopping mall or in a one big venue, okay, one part of it changes, okay, then you can just take the video over there, then all
Yeah.
the thing will be done by the car or by the algo. So I mean, your question is very good. Okay, but because we are so lucky that it's not that the information are not so dynamically changing as when you get the information in a Waymo car.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. I didn't mean to interrupt too much. What's next? What are you going to talk about from this point?
Okay. So for the left-hand side, the panel, the figures, okay, show you all our staff trying to create the digitization. What I'm trying to say is actually our staff, they are not GIS professionals, okay? They are not the computering graduate, okay? They are just normal people, normal graduates, okay? If I'm not wrong, these two are the undergraduate students. They still not yet graduate. Okay, they can still create that kind of a map for us. This is all the conceptual idea that we have. We try to build the mapping engine very easily. Okay, so that just a little bit training that you can do it. Okay, so for the middle photo, okay, my staff is working in Japan. Okay, we developed our own app so that they can just walk around to create the signal map. Okay, to create the signal. Okay, so that the quick signal map can be created. Okay, you just walk normally like that. You don't need to use hold the iPhone in that position. Okay, just say VR, that kind of application, that kind of navigation proposed by Google. Okay, you always need to hold the iPhones like that.
Yeah.
That is poor end user experience. Okay, so another detailed things you need to consider. Okay, holding a cell phone like this is easy for the end user or for the field worker. Holding like this is terrible. In Japan, you will get trouble. Okay, because in Japan people are very concerned about the privacy. Am I right?
Yep.
So I mean, a lot of these kind of very detailed things. Okay, I try to I try to communicate with you. Okay, verbally, because you cannot show from the photo or something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
And very interesting. Just like in Japan, when you try to hold the cell phone like this, everyone will stare at you. Okay, that is
So
very.
the person that you're showing holding that's a cell phone on top of like a selfie stick, right? The person in the picture on this slide is holding, looks like a cell phone on a selfie stick.
Well,
Hello?
it depends on how you turn on the camera. Okay, but this
Yeah.
kind of posture is very scaring. Okay, I mean.
But instead of capturing images, the cell phone is really just capturing Wi-Fi strength.
Oh yes, yeah, just capture the Wi-Fi strength. Okay.
Okay.
And then for the staff holding the camera like this. Okay,
Yeah.
just letting the video. Okay, but when we come
Okay.
back, the engine will burst all the face. Okay, so that means no face will show in the real visual map. Okay, that is
Got it.
new system. Okay, that is quite important because in a lot of places, this kind of information is considered to be privacy. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
But interestingly, I just want to convince the message to you is actually using the up-to-date state-of-the-art technology. Okay, actually you can produce so professional map and services. Okay, comparable to the traditional professional grade that kind of a system that thanks to the technology. Okay, and then the AI or deep learning, that kind of a cloud computing. All right. So next slide, I show you. These are all our customer right here in Japan or in Hong Kong. These are a little bit outdated. Okay, but very interestingly for the accessibility. Okay, you need to have. We try to create a map, something like that. Okay, in every big city, especially in Hong Kong or in Asian country. Okay, everything are built very close or next to the MTR station or the railway networks. Okay, just like in Hong Kong, Singapore, or in Japan. Okay, they will have a lot of big shopping malls surrounding the MTR or the railway station. Okay, it's because a lot of people are falling over there. Okay.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong, they give us one figure is actually more than 2 million or 20 million people. Okay, traveling around the Tokyo station.
Oh yeah, it's more than 2
per
million
day.
a day. Yeah.
I mean, so the accessibility had to be start from that kind of the hub or the transfer connecting point. Okay, nodes. Okay, city. Okay, so along the railway line, then we try to build that kind of a map, and then extend to the nearby maybe 100 diameter region, and then to extend to the other premises. Okay, something like that. Okay.
So
and
John,
also,
can I interrupt? You started the company in about 2015, and so when did you actually start to get customers for the mapping service? This group, did it take 2 or 3 years, or how long?
the first customer is in 2019, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the barrier-free application. Okay, we were approached by these customers. Okay, even the Japan companies. Okay, they approach us. Okay, so this is one message I want to convince to every startup. People. Okay, focus on your product. If the product is really good, then people will come. Okay, that's my experience. Okay, all the major customer, they approach us. Okay, we did not do that kind of big promotion because we are startup. We don't have much money at the first beginning, right? So I mean, focus on the ping pong and then the solution and then the product to make it very nice, to have a very high quality. Okay, to be able to work with Apple, to be able to work with the VIP, just like the visually impaired people or the government. Okay, work up to their standard, then you can get your customer. Okay, that is my experience. Okay, so yeah. Sorry.
No, please go ahead.
Okay, so now our customer, we got customer in Hong Kong and Japan, Taipei, and also Singapore. We are negotiating with the Temasek Foundation. We are working with the Invest Taipei. Okay, we work with JR Group and we work with Hankyu Group. They are the railways groups. Okay, later I will show you. Okay. Okay, this slide show you show you the market size. Okay, we talking about the two sectors. Okay, one is a map markets. Okay, something like 30 billion USD dollars. Okay, and then the much bigger size is actually the location-based services market. Okay, for example, the location-based advertisement that you find it with Google, you find it with Facebook or the Square or whatever. Okay, and then you will find the application of the Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go is a kind of a geolocation-based kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So you may consider it extend to the indoor or something like that. Okay, and one more example is like developing a smart device, not only the smart the iPhone, for the monitoring the location of the elderly or the senior citizen or the patient in need. Okay, for immediate assistance, something like that. Okay, so these can be classified as a location-based services market. Okay, they are huge. Okay, and then we in this 3 to 4 years we find that people are more getting used to this kind of services. For example, like in Hong Kong, there's one application put forward by the shopping mall. Okay, they even indicate the toilet, and then they put in the online information of the availability of the toilet over there in the app, so that you can have a much more easy to use the kind of facility. I mean, they are all related to location. I mean, everything occur with the time, location, you know,
Mm-hmm.
people, and then event. Am I right? So the location is actually one of the four important factors over there. So we try to extend our services to the professional maps and professional location and navigation services for the indoor, and then for the visually and for the barrier-free applications. Okay, not only for the visually impaired people. Okay, for example, I am a father. Okay, I remember several years ago when I have a trolley for my baby, it's really trouble to travel around the shopping mall or the estate. Okay, all of a sudden there are several steps over there. Then you need to carry the wheelchair or the trolley, by yourself. Okay, that's really in Asia you will find very often to occur. Okay, maybe in the North America it's better. Okay,
Yeah.
but I mean that is not accessible. Okay, I mean in this sense. Okay. So I will show you. Oh, this is the Smart City Walk app. Okay, you can download it. Okay, in the Google or the Apple store. Okay, called the Smart City Walk. Okay, so the barrier-free application. Okay, so this kind of app. Okay, they provide the searching information, searching engine. Okay, for the location. Okay, where you can find in a shopping mall. Okay, what kind of shop that you can have. Okay, and also they use a voice message to deliver the message. Okay, the turn-to-turn navigation. Okay, and then the position. Okay, positioning. Okay, so you can download and try it, and then look at the map and the navigation surfaces in the app by yourself. Okay. What I'm trying to say is actually when we design this kind of product, we need to be very careful. Okay, I was so embarrassed. Okay, when we talked with the visually impaired the members of the union. Okay, we say that digital map and navigation is already good for you. No need for visual map. But all of a sudden, they tell us, okay, I cannot see, but my friends and my families can see. So when I miss out where I am, okay, and when I want to share the location to my families, I can take a photo and then can send the photo to them so that they can locate me or find the location much easier. Then I say, oh yes, very sorry, I forget that kind of usage. Okay, I mean at that moment I was so embarrassed. Okay, because I didn't use the user angle to design the product or the technology. Okay, so I mean, this is a good lesson for me. Okay, whenever we try to develop the technology or the product for the general public, okay, we need to stand from their point of view, not from our, especially we are scientists, we are engineers, we always think it more elegant, more, high tech, that kind of sense, okay, rather than very layman term, okay, very layman use, okay, what they need are those precise information so that they can have a window shopping according to the POIs. I mean, I just, this is a very interesting project, okay. Some of my staff quit my company because they are not there to try this project. Okay, but we were encouraged by the chairman, saying, okay, without you, we will not die. Without the iPhone, we still can walk around. Without the stick, we will not stay at home. You are just one more piece of information to enrich our experience. Okay, try to produce the data for me. Try to produce a system for us. Okay, we will educate our people how to use it. Okay, so I make the decision to get the project. Okay, of course they got a lot of money. Okay, but I mean, I really want to solve the problem because this is the really hard pain point they face. Okay, they don't have a good system to show the information of the proximity So you open your eyes. You seldom see people, visually impaired people, to walk around in a shopping mall. You rethink again, because they don't have the eye to see. They don't have the piece, the capture of. They don't have the piece of information of the shops, what kind of product they offer, or something like that. Probably these are the map that you can offer. Okay, so this is a very interesting project. I encourage you, if you are interested, you can download the app and then experience yourself. Okay, when you come to Hong Kong, but if you are in the North America, you can still see the features. Okay, what they need. Okay, what the technology can offer, something like that. Okay.
John, is it local governments that are pushing barrier free, and so like the shopping center owner would want to install it? Do you think that government kind of pressure for this is still important, or are businesses really starting to do it?
The government is trying to push that. Of course, some of the big companies like the Sun Hung Kai properties, okay, the New World properties, okay, they own a lot of shops. For example, like Sun Hung Kai, okay, they manage something like 1/6 of the all the buildings or the properties that people live in, in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So they also want to improve that kind of services for the residents. Okay. So I mean, of course, this kind of application is socially, responsible. So that probably is a kind of promotion for their brand too. Okay. And so now we find, and Singapore Temasek Foundation is also working with us to push that into Singapore, and also in the Taipei or in Taiwan too. Okay, and also we also work with the Panasonic Group in Japan to push this kind of services. I really like this kind of app. Okay, and then all the system is over there. Probably in the North America, we can also offer this kind of services for the disabled or people in needs. Okay, so to answer your question, I mean, government, of course, they are pushing it, and then for the enterprises, they also want to improve their branding or their promotion type of things.
So are you starting to see companies finally doing location-based promotion? You know, where if the company recognizes a device close to a particular display, maybe some sort of a discount appears by the day.
We find that in Hong Kong or especially in Japan and also in Taiwan. Okay.
So it's already happening.
It's already happening. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, in the last several years, okay, a lot of beacon solutions have been in place. Okay.
Yeah.
For example, in the Hong Kong MTR, okay, they try in the MOT station that cost them 8 million for one station. It cost them 8 million. They try to use it. Okay.
Yeah.
So Hong Kong 8 million station, 8 million Hong Kong dollar are quite a lot. Okay. If you consider 100 stations for Hong Kong or 200 stations, or for JR, they have JR West, they do have 4,000 stations. How can you manage that? Am I right? So a lot of beacon solutions have it in place. Okay. So the market has been educated. Okay. So even during the COVID time, our business, our inquiry has been quite good. Okay. So a lot of big company, big developer, they are using our system. Just like in this one, the shopping mall. Okay, they try to put in, especially during the COVID. Okay, they want to put in the toilet information. Probably later they will put in the hygiene, air quality or the environmental quality, that kind of information in this kind of app. Okay, so and also now they use a lot of a robot to clean the shopping mall. So they need a navigation system. They need a map. Okay, to display all the information or for the navigation type of things. Okay, and we are also developing that kind of a robot map that can facilitate the robot to navigate inside the indoor environment. Okay, so for the surface robot, for example, for the cleaning, for the surveying, okay, and for the security, that kind of services. Okay, so this application show you some of the application that that you can integrate with the IoT system, with their console, with their digital display, with their internal facility management system. So that means one set of data that you can support quite a lot of different kind of applications. Yeah.
So your company though is basically doing the infrastructure part and providing an API to other companies to write the applications, or are you also getting into the applications?
In terms of our services, okay, we only provide two services. One is mapping, okay, digitalization, surveying of the signal map, and then take the video and come back and then to produce the 3 layers of maps. Okay, that means the digital map, signal map, navigation system, and also the visual map. Okay, and after that, okay, after data and then the map have been produced, the data have been produced, then we do provide a SaaS model, that kind of a SDK services or API services. Okay, for the developer or for the integrator, I mean the IT solution integrator or the app developer or the government, they will use it. Okay, for example, for the Hong Kong government, they try to digitize 50,000 buildings in Hong Kong in the 2 to 3 years time, and then later they will open all the data for the world to use it. So that means probably you can use the data set or to call our SDK or API for the services to develop the game, okay, or for develop whatever the application among the society. So we only provide mapping and then the SDK services. So we don't produce like the Google Map, that kind of application. We don't at this moment.
Okay. Yeah. No. No, that's very clear. Thank you. This, this has been, I think that before too long, I'd like to give the audience a chance to ask some questions, but maybe kind of wrap up with the slides and we'll stop showing slides. Okay. So you're looking at these train stations for JR in Japan.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
A lot. I mean, I am quite amazed, okay, by this kind of scale, okay, a lot, okay. We are producing, we are working with the A cities in Japan, okay, for mapping all the maps, okay. And then actually, this kind of IPNTK map, okay, as select as one of the project by the Ministry of Lands, Infrastructure and Transport.
Transport.
Okay, of Japan, okay, to trial, okay, in Japan, okay. So finally, this map will be launched by the Kawasaki Group, okay, in Japan, okay, to serve everyone in Japan, okay. So this one is interesting for the building and construction process visualization, and then for the safety management, because we also develop the smart device chips, okay, like a PCB board or smart device to integrate into the smart or IoT to monitor the safety of the workers. Okay, we also include, because there are motion sensors over there, so that we can detect the fall or that kind of accident. Okay, but with the location, so that you can quickly have the response. Okay. So let me quickly wrap up. Okay. This is a IPNTK map. Okay. So and this is the strategy for the lens department. Okay. So they work, you know, according to the smart city blueprint. Okay. So they need to develop the maps for the indoors. Okay. So these are the intern government departments. They want to use the data or the map or the positioning services for the public. Okay. So let me try to conclude. Okay. So we are producing a kind of a global indoor map services. Okay. So in a city-based or in a global scale, okay? So in a global scale, that means you also need to be able to connect different operation system, just like Android, iOS, web, okay, IoT or smart device, so that different industry, different kind of end user are able to use it. I mean the map surfaces and also the system. Now imagine you are very rich. Okay, you use iPhone, or you are the poor. Okay, you can use Android, or you are the VIP. You need to use a barrier-free type of application, or you are a game player. Then you can use a smart device or the iPhone to build the game system based on the map, or you are the elderly. You need closely monitoring of your positioning, you know, so that you can still use this kind of infrastructure. Okay. So I mean, from our experience, the second point I want to highlight is actually the market is going up. Okay, that means the location-based services market, you know, are booming. Okay, are booming. Okay, thanks to the Apple or to the Google. Okay, they have already established that kind of a ecosystem or the infrastructure. I mean, the sensors over there. Okay, the Wi-Fi over there. I mean, in a city basis. Okay, so that we will see, okay, there will be a fully booming increase of this kind of needs for the next 10 years. By the way, our program for the Japan is for the 10 years of plan. Okay, so I mean, this kind of infrastructure data and then the services would have a great, you know, social impact. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. So we also want to work with the partners to you know, to put forward this kind of data into different kind of applications. Okay, so in another slide that we have the partners with Siemens. Okay, with the an entity in Japan or SoftBank or this kind of a partner to produce the services, you know, around the world. Okay, so I will cut it short. So that's all for me. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic presentation. Thank you very much, John.
I need to bring in the charger for the computer.
So while John is going to get the charger for his computer, we only have a few more minutes left in the formal session of the program. But if anybody has questions, please write them in chat, and I'll be happy to pull them out. John, can you hear me while you're doing that?
Yeah.
You can hear me, right? Okay. So how do you see kind of Asia versus other places in the world in regard to this sort of a service? Do you think Asia is going to wind up being more fast growth, or do you think that this is really just a stepping stone to EU and US markets?
I mean, for our company, I think yes. Okay. But actually, when you look at the globally, the formal official partner of Apple Maps Map Connect program, okay, we have something like 15, if I'm not wrong, okay, official partners in over the globe, okay. Only 2 in Asia. We are the biggest one in Asia, okay. So from that kind of information, I would say there are strong demands also in North America and Europe too. And I have been, you know, living in the States. I usually got confused, you know, for the big shopping malls in the States. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the big shop,
no, the need is everywhere.
You know, I'm not as good as my wife. You know, she is very good in the shopping mall, but I am not. Okay, so I will always get lost. So I would say, for example, even in Canada, okay, you have a lot of enclosed indoor space in the winter time. They are all connected together. Am I right? Yeah, the shopping malls or something like that. So I mean, we still need that kind of services. So if I'm not wrong, I think the North America, and especially I know more about the North America, there's a very strong needs, especially the LBS services.
Will the technology standards be worldwide, do you think?
Yeah.
You really do need a standard for this.
We test over our system over the world.
Yeah. And I'm kind of curious how this integrates with outdoor GPS systems. Because if you're really talking smart city, then you really need a seamless kind of integration between the two. Is that possible yet?
This is a very good question. Okay, actually, in terms of connectivity, outdoor, indoor are the major difficulties. Okay, there are 2 points I want to highlight. One is the GPS system, and then the Wi-Fi system. They can be quite easily we conquer that kind of a barrier. Okay, and then now it's seamless. Okay, to transport from the indoor to the outdoor. That the cloud and then the cell phone can switch very easily, smoothly with you. But another big question is actually when you had we call the web path, indoor web path and the outdoor web path. Okay, need to be well connected. Okay, in a lot of the outdoor web path had not been well defined. Okay, luckily for Hong Kong or for Japan or for this more modernized city, okay, the outdoor web path and the indoor web path, they are all built up. Okay, indoor may not be so well established, but when you try to synchronize the two systems together, then you need to spend quite a lot of effort. Okay. Just as one of the major tasks, we work with the Lands Department of Hong Kong to try to synchronize all the in-out building to outdoor, that kind of synchronization. that is not easy because the coverage is so huge. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So I have to say that we're coming to the end of the formal program, but if you can stay for just a few minutes, I've got some questions that we'd like to ask, and come to think of it, I think these may be better in an informal, off the record format anyway. We will continue our series next week. Next week, we have Ms. Madhu Shalini Iyer, who is a venture capitalist, and she's going to talk about mass adoption of mobility applications across Asia. So for today, though, everyone, thank you so much for coming together, and thanks for an outstanding presentation. This was really interesting. So much more that I want to ask, and I hope that we can keep in touch from this point.